Boom. Today, I'm going to be showing you why your beats aren't getting placed and what you need to do to get them placed, and also how to make some insanely hard UK drill beats. My last trip over to London, I had a few sessions with artists and I feel like I learned a lot. So throughout this video, I will spill a few little tips and tricks that I picked up for you to remember when you're making your beats next, and also just how to step up your beats a little bit. Let's just get into it. If you're making drill, you need to come equipped. Make sure you got some sounds. You need drum kits, you know where to go. You need sound kits for melodies, you know where to go. So let's just start with the melody. Starting off in Contact using Firelight, great bang for pads. And we are going to be starting off by using the suspended second A-sharp minor chord. Yes, I am learning music theory. I don't normally use this chord, so I thought today we'll use it. If you watch me regularly, you know I probably say the word tension at least 10 times per video. I only say that because of how important it is. The reason we're starting with the suspended second chord is, look at that tension note right beside the C. Actually gonna pitch this down an octave. We're just gonna stretch it for 3 bars, and on the last note, pitch that up, so we're changing the tension note. Classic drill melody. I want it to sound a little bit more ambient, so we are throwing Valhalla vintage verb on it. And I also want to cut out this high end of it. Something like that. Once you basically have this bass, all that's left is kind of to go around looking for sounds to complement this chord. Coming straight back into Firelight. And I think we're just going to layer that on the C note like that. Hard. This one's a little bit more subby. Coming into a bank that I haven't actually used in quite a while, which is Mosaic Voices. We have this kind of gritty kind of texture. We kind of just want this layered in the background as a texture. Copy that over. I might have to turn it down a little bit. Yeah, we're going to turn it right down to there. We also have Stereo Enhancer and Pancake on it to make sure that the texture is tucked straight to the back. Now, Electra X is a personal favorite of mine. I always try to use it in as many beats as I can. I nearly just dropped the camera. Why does this table like shake the whole thing? Apologies. And I love ARPs too. And ARPs and Electra X are so cold. I think we're just going to try to create some kind of like melody kind of with it. Here we go. Something like that. It sounded a little bit harsh, so we need to try smoothing it out a little bit. We're using Portal. I want 100. Let's put it up 100. That sounds hard. We're going to keep that. We're going to render this out. And lastly, you've guessed it, we are coming into Vocalize too. Actually using a bit of a mad mixer chain, and I have Ferric TDS on the vocal. That's probably it for the melody, I can't lie. I can actually hear quite a few artists on it. But before I start the drums, let me give out a few tips that I learned while I was having sessions with artists. Don't start the beat off too hectic. When artists are listening to your beat and your beat drops in with like 3 different 808s straight away, 7 effects, 9 perks, they're not going to be able to catch a flow to the beat, and they probably won't listen to the rest of it. They're going to just straight up say skip next. Even though to another producer it's probably going to sound very impressive, but in an artist's brain they're trying to catch pockets of space for their flows. Don't have messy 808 patterns, and I'm going to show you exactly what I mean by this when I start doing the 808s. Structure is extremely important, and the drop of the beat is also extremely important. I had a good amount of beats just skipped straight away if they weren't feeling the beat as soon as the beat dropped. This is a bit of a weird one, and people probably won't like this one, but tags at the beginning of beats, some artists just hail it. If you have like 3 tags straight off the rip at the very start of a beat, some artists will just switch off and just not even listen to the rest. They'll say next. It literally happened to me in some of the sessions. And another thing, make sure your tag doesn't sound shit, and make sure everyone's tag that you're actually using doesn't sound shit either. If you're using more than 2 tags, I probably would just leave it until the very end of the beat and leave the tags to the very end. More time, that's why I've actually just been putting the very beginning laugh of my tag at the start of my beats now. So it's not actually the full thing where it says Slippery, this one's cold. It's literally just like a little bit of a laugh. Kind of using that as like a little subtle tag that people wouldn't really know, but if you know me, you're gonna know that that's my tag. They're kind of some of the major ones that I can think of off the top of my head. A few more might pop up while I'm making the beat. What I found out while working with artists was the simpler the counter snare pattern, I feel like they kind of liked it a little bit more. If it was just like a standard counter snare pattern, just something like they kind of like it a little bit more steady and rhythmic, and it kind of just like helps their flow and stuff. I'm going to show you a way to kind of complement that. We're going to do something very simple here, but also unique and hard. This is the saucy bit. We have like gaps in that main counter snare pattern. Why is this looped? So this is just the main drill counter snare pattern, and we're just going to loop this over. Now I do have a little mixer chain on this second counter snare that makes it sound pretty unique and nice. If you're trying to see the mixer chain, it will be available over on my Patreon, as well as all my other FLPs. Link for that in the description. It now sounds something like this. It's simple, it sounds unique, and it also sounds hard in my opinion. I think that sounds really, really nice. Sounds a little bit jumpy too, because the two aren't playing the exact same pattern. And to be honest, I feel like bongos can kind of nearly complement this sound, so I feel like we're going to throw in a couple of bongos on top of some of these notes. We're just layering on top of some of the sounds. Start of the bar, I kind of want some kind of like impact noise. Now it could be like a snuff perk, but I'm kind of trying to go for something a little bit more unique than a snuff perk, because once again, using unique sounds is another way to catch the artist's attention. The more unique your sound is, the more it's going to make the artist kind of want to listen to it. We're going to grab something like this and put it on the ones, and then like make it the sound like something like that. I'm feeling like a rim shot is going to suit this beat a little bit more than a normal snare. That sounds pretty tough. And lastly, a sprinkle of a couple of perks. Now for the 808s. Of course, we're using the Valhalla 808. Now, like I said, when you first introduce the 808, they should kind of be smooth and steady, not really moving too much, just kind of feeling out the beat a little bit. But normally I'd have your first 808 pattern pretty standard. Now I'm going to make another pattern where I'm kind of try and get a little bit more mixy with it. I'll show you a pattern that I actually did in a session with Chinks OS, and he was rapping over it, and there was a part of the 808 pattern that I just absolutely hated, and when he was rapping over it, I was like, bro, I need to delete that ASAP. Like, it just does not sound good with an artist on it. Planning on doing a little bit simple, but this actually sounds pretty hard there. Oh, wait, hang on, I'm kind of going in here, wait. Oh, hang on, bro, I'll make another pattern. I actually kind of went, this is pretty nice. I will make one more pattern after this stuff. These slides are all cold, I'm not gonna lie. Right, we'll make one more, hang on. Alright, so this one here has the 808 pattern that I did for the Chinks beat, and I just didn't like it. You can try to kind of guess what you think it is. It's this bar here. It's this, what we like to call the constipated 808s. I don't know what it is, or maybe it's just how I use them, but however way I use them, it just sounds bad when someone's rapping on it. It just starts to get a bit offbeat or something. I don't know, but it just didn't sound good, and this is something that I probably won't be putting in my beats from now on. Even these slides here kind of go a little bit messy. Maybe we should go like... That sounds maybe a little bit more tough. And then last thing is the kick. And to be honest, for me, I like to use my kick pretty sparsely. I always make sure that there's a hat playing when my kick hits. If your kick hits when there's no hat or counter snare playing, sounds a little bit dead. I also like to pitch it down a little bit. But yeah, I don't use the kick too much as other producers. And finally, for structure. People always ask me about structure. I'm going to break it down really quick because I literally have the exact same structure in every beat, every drill beat that I make. I have an intro with just melodies, no drums. I have a second part of the intro where I introduce some part of the drums. I've got a 16-bar hook. After that, I do a 16-bar verse. And after that, I have some sort of like an 8-bar bridge. And then I literally just highlight, control and B, copy and paste over. I appreciate it if you've made it this far in the video. And if you have, I ask you to do one thing, and that's just to smash the like button for me. Well, two things. If you're not subscribed, make sure you're subscribed as well. Here's the beat. Because I'm the only person on the beat, I'll use my full tag. Are kind of easing it into the beat. And then they'll start to pick up. Into the verse. Now, to be honest, this 808 pattern might be a little bit too messy for a verse section. I've just kind of left it in because I think the 808s are pretty cold from a producing standpoint. Bro, I can't lie, this little perk thing that I used, I like that as a sound. Back into it. But yeah, man, I hope you've learned something from this video. Run me up on Instagram and TikTok. That's right, TikTok, because they're the only two things I care about. I'm out. Good luck, see you later. Bow.